We have Fred Buse, who is here, and he's going to be talking about birds and making birds more of your friends and creating an environment for birds. We decided to start this type of programming because we think that if everybody who lives in Upper Saucon Township and eventually the surrounding townships make their environment a little bit friendlier for wildlife, both, and that's meaning birds and mammals and so forth, but also for plants, native plants, that it'll improve the environment of the entire township and therefore the region. So the idea was to start to bring in the expertise, like Fred, to help us. And what we said is, we realize that environmental awareness and habitat conservation in our own backyards, learning, creating, and experiencing one yard at a time. Our partners in doing this are, first of all, the Master Gardener Program, which Fred represents here, both in Lehigh County and Northampton County, which is a great group. They're really experts in a range of things that we're going to be talking about as time goes by. The Agricultural Extension Agency of Lehigh County, and of course, our public library here, which is giving us the place to do this. So we have some upcoming programs dealing with deer. If you live in this area, you know you have to try to deal with deer. We have that program is coming up at the end of the month, on November 30th. It'll be right here. And then we're going to have a rain barrel workshop in April, and hopefully some things in between. And we'll get the word out through our newsletter and on the website, the Upper Saucon Township website, through hopefully the Gardener Program and many other ways. So this is our initial kickoff workshop, and we hope there are many, many more to come over the years, and that we can cover a lot of subjects that interest you. So bring your family and your friends to the deer workshop. So Fred,
okay,
is going to take it away from here.
Now what I'm going to talk about is the environment for backyards. This is a downy woodpecker.
And a purple finch.
And a purple finch. Right. Okay. And what I'll talk about is the environment for the birds, the perennials, the water, the feeders to feed the birds in the bird houses. The suet, you get the fatty stuff for the winter and no melt in the summer. You can put your bacon fat in the freezer and then put it out directly in the winter. Or else you can melt it and put some cornmeal and raisins in it and cranberries. This can be very confusing. Here's a house finch. Here's a red pole with a difference in the shape of the head, pine siskin, and a purple finch. They all look very similar. It's get tall trees. You desire to have trees. But I didn't know about trees when I got them. A man was selling the trees along the road. I said, oh, I want a tree. But I learned afterwards that I had the wrong trees. The trees, as I said, grew 80 foot tall. I didn't realize, because when you go to a nursery even, a lot of times they don't tell you what color the leaves turn. You normally see them in the spring. But wouldn't it be nice if someone said, okay, it's going to turn red or orange? Don't put pine trees near your house, especially white pines. In about 10 years, they're going to be cutting it down. The same even with a holly tree. But the tall trees are needed for protection for the birds, especially from the weather and predators. It's good for nesting, good for roosting. As I said, consider the mature height. For shading, which side is it? It's going to be on your yard, it's north side or south side. All of a sudden this thing which was 10 foot is 50 foot, and you have all shade in your yard. All right? And so why do they do that? Because a thistle feed is more expensive than a lot of feed. And so rather than have the sparrows eat it and such, the goldfish feeds upside down. The other birds can't. However, I found that down in here, if that was thistle feed, it rots.
Yeah, I have that. I've had that.
So I put, this is safflower, and a safflower does not rot. It takes care of the problem.
I'm always amazed they just show
Now,
up.
this is a branch that's been drilled out for peanut butter, and my birds are fussy. They don't want homogenized peanut butter. They don't want natural peanut butter. They don't want crunchy peanut butter. They only want Skippy smooth peanut butter.
Something tells me somebody else only wants the Skippy smooth.
As a matter of fact, it's...
How about your squirrels? Are they that picky?
Now, I do find that the birds hardly touch the peanut butter in the winter. It just sits there. At least my birds. They just, yeah. Yep. And the same with peanuts. They're hardly touching the peanuts right now. But when they're fledging, by gosh, I can't keep this filled enough. I have a rule, it's not my rule, but I found this rule, 579, that a squirrel can't jump higher than 5 feet. Can't come more than 7 feet this way, and it won't come down 9 feet. So if you can locate your feeder at that location, you should not normally have squirrels. You should put your feeder 6 to 10 feet from the bushes, again, to prevent ambush. But on the other hand, you don't want it more than 6, some feeders you don't want more than 6 feet away from the building, because what happens if a hawk comes in and the birds accelerate toward the house, if it's more than 6 feet, then more likely will accelerate and hit the house. If it's closer than 6 feet, they'll turn. A flicker, it's in a woodpecker family, but it doesn't peck wood except for making its cavity. If you have a woodpecker on your lawn, you either have ants or grubs. I gave you a lot of information. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, to all of you, we'll have our next session here on November 30th, and that's dealing with deer. And we hope then to move on from that to many other subjects, from winterizing your garden and how to plant native plants and things that tie in. And hopefully they'll all tie in together so that down the line the Upper Saucon Township citizens will have even better landscapes and environment in their homes. So